Our goal hasn't changed since 2009. We support, promote, engage, and inspire the arts community by igniting the ghost light that shines on the stages of the up-and-coming, the unsung heroes, the brilliant writers, and the dynamic designers. Stay tuned. Rep Radio is on the air.
Welcome to Rep Radio. I'm your host, Darnell Radford, and today I'm in the Rep Radio studio, and I'm here to talk about Basic Witches. And got some theater artists at the table, and we'll have them introduce themselves. We'll start with Robbie.
I'm Robi Hagar. I'm the composer, lyricist, and producer of Basic Witches, and I go by he, him, and I'm super excited that you have us here today.
Great.
I'm Sav Souza. I play Eddie in the show Basic Witches that we're here to talk about. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm also so excited to be here.
Great, and welcome to Rep Radio.
Thank you.
It's been an interesting week. I put something out on the listserv because we're having quite a bit of conversations right now. So it's not just about theater. We're all like reluctant activists now because we have to be. Yeah. There's a lot of politics that enter into our conversations. So I reached out to see if anyone else wanted to have some conversations. So there's been a huge interest in understanding diversity and inclusion in our community, which is good. It has its moments of pandering in a sense, but ultimately I'm just living for all the artistic diversity that we have here now. So I'm trying to find all these things that aren't just this straight-laced play or this straight-laced musical, this one we know, but like this is the 14th company that has produced it in the city. So when I'm looking for the things that are coming up and whatever pops up that seems to be most interesting, I'm like, put a pin in that so we can have a conversation. So right before you sent me an email, I had saw something about Basic Witches, and I said, put a pin in that.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
It just seems like something I definitely want to talk about. So, but since this is the first time both of you have been here on Rep Radio, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Your, how long you've been in Philly, what your sort of artistic focuses are, and then we'll get into the weeds of Basic Witches.
Well, okay, so I'm mostly an actor, musical theater actor, and I'm from New York, and I've done most of my work in New York. But I've worked at the Art and Theater quite a bit. I've done a few shows there, and it's the first one I did, which was Next to Normal back in 2012. Mm-hmm. There was a sense, it's going to sound so cliche, but it was a sense of Philly was awesome. Philly was a great place, and felt like I wanted to live there at some point. And this is way, 5 years ago now. And then I decided to make the move. I was on tour with a show last year, and then in December of this past year, I made the move. And I think it's the best decision I have made. I love New York, and I miss New York. There's a lot of New York that I still love. But it's so crowded, and it's so much cheaper here. Yeah. And there's a lot more, it's more accessible to share with artists here, I think, than in New York. In New York, there's a lot of, I love New York again, but there's a lot of, not enough help with each other. People don't help each other as much as I see it here in Philly. The fact that I have been able to produce this in the amount of time that I have is unheard of, I think, in New York. That is something that's, unless I have millions of dollars, I could be able to do that. But here there's a lot of help with friends, and it's a sense of good community family here. So this show kind of really has brought a new side of my passion for the arts. I love the creative process. I love the producing side of this. So maybe that's something I want to pursue more here and maybe New York in the future. But my work really has been only in the acting world.
Right. And you can, because the support system is here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Right, and Sav?
Yeah, I'm from Northern California originally. I grew up in a small little town there called Tracy, with lots of cows.
Yeah.
And not very much theater. Most access I had was soundtracks and the tours that would come through San Francisco. So my favorite shows growing up were Phantom of the Opera and Sound of the Music. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
What is that?
Sound of the Music.
Sound of the Music sounds fun. Maybe we should put it in French. Next year. So I lived there for a while. Loved theater. Then I came, and I knew that I wanted to pursue theater in college, and so I did the whole college audition thing, and I ended up getting into UArts in a walk-in audition. I had a friend who went to the University of the Arts, and she just texted me day of the Unified auditions in LA and was like, "Hey, my school's doing open auditions. Go in. You don't even have to have applied yet." And I was like, "Okay. I mean, I have time to kill. I'll go." And I didn't always have the greatest grades, so I wasn't gonna get into NYU. I wasn't gonna get into all those big name schools. So I walked into the UArts audition, I did it, and then afterward they emailed me and they were like, "Hey, we loved you, apply to our school." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, that's
oh my God,
really
that's
awesome."
So cool.
and so they just kind of plucked me out of Cowtown, which was really exciting, and I didn't think was going to happen because I didn't have the grades and I didn't have all those things and and I was queer and a weird queer kid from the middle of nowhere and didn't have the things that I thought were going to take me away. So it was really awesome.
Did you know 3 blocks away was
yeah, little did I know that UArts was just waiting. And so and I think that's what they do so well is at UArts is embrace your differences. And so I went to UArts and I explored my sexuality and my gender and all of that and how it informs me as an artist. And so I grew a ton as a human and an activist and an artist. And now I, on top of performing, I was a musical theater major there. And on top of doing that, I began writing musical theater, and fell in love with the whole process of writing new musicals and creating them and working on them collaboratively as a performer and a writer. And so it was really awesome when around graduation time I happened upon the posting for Basic Witches online. And they were looking for someone who was genderqueer, and I was really excited by the idea that people were ready to put my story on stage. And because that was one of my biggest fears leaving school was that I was in this safe little incubator where they're ready to embrace me and help me explore myself and what that means on stage, but I don't know if the outside world's quite up to speed on that yet.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to kind of have that and be okay, I have people who see me, and that's happening. So now we've been working on it for a handful of times.
It's half a year.
Yeah,
now,
about 6 months or so.
Maybe almost 6 months.
Yeah,
it's just
we're here. We're doing it. Yeah.
So where did the idea for Basic Witches come from?
It's originally a kids show, a 1-hour children's musical called The Real Wicked Witches of Halloween Hills, which are also producing up in New York with my other writer, John Tracy Egan. He's in charge of that one up in New York. So that's where it started 3 years ago. We created that, I think. And it was just an hour musical. We just put it up, and that was it. And then I thought about it, and I wanted to remount it again, but given the political climate in these last few years, 2 years really, big time, I said, why don't we do a drag show? Let's do a drag musical of this. And our original character of Eddie was Betty, and it was played by a female. And this time I said, I think we need a non-binary actor for this, and to really tell a different story, or a story that's more about what's going on today. So that's where this version, Basic Witches, came from. And we have a stellar cast. I mean, we've been working together on every character and how we can make them as pure, as honest, as fun as possible. And that's the thing with this musical that I want to keep going with. It's fun. It's about rejoicing ourselves, our identity, through fun, humor, and Halloween. It's like I love the fact that we're doing it in Halloween. It's like it's one of my favorite holiday. So, and I'm obsessed with witches, so I had to make them basic.
I think it's really interesting that it's Halloween centered, because Halloween is so much about putting on a costume and like not being yourself. And I think that that's a really nice juxtaposition between the two, because I think there's really nice things about the freedom that people find in like not being themselves, and then the freedom that people find in like finding out who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the liberty also, I mean, when I was a kid, like I dressed up so much with my sister's like skirts. I put them as my hair, or like my skirt as my skirt. My mom's heels. Like I dressed up, and it's like through that I found my identity. I found that like, you know, I'm gay, and it was, now that I look back at those years, I was in the comfort of my own home with my parents, who were so supportive of just play around, just have a good time. That's through fun you can find a lot of yourself, I think, and that's kind of where I know I found my identity from, and I want to continue that in this show. Like if we can have fun and allow people to just laugh and enjoy it themselves, I don't know, maybe something will change with them. Like, yeah, I need to like think about that.
There's always a comment that we're wearing a mask, or we put on costumes every day. But not all those costumes show us who we really are, or allow us to be truly ourselves. So sometimes you have a little bit of fun. You step it up. This is how I'm feeling inside. Like this beam of light is. This is why I'm in sequins. So that it's like bringing the inside out.
Yeah. And I love seeing that. I think that's why, like, I wish every month was Pride Month. You know, and it's like, it's the beauty of the colors, the beauty of that kind of light that comes out of people is so warm. It's it's like exactly what.
I definitely saw a lot more support this month. I mean, this year's Pride Month, but it was clearly like, we got to get them dollars. So it was like everybody has a rainbow something.
Oh, right, capitalism.
Like
taking advantage of Pride.
That's true too.
Over here. Or it's more like, hey, over here. Come buy these things.
Yeah.
By the way, we got this rainbow shake. You can buy these rainbow hats.
Yeah.
You can get this rainbow t-shirt.
Branding, right? It's
rainbow
like
socks. And they're just like, give me them. I'll buy all of them. So you're playing Eddie.
Yeah.
And Eddie is the character that was just a little different from your original imagination. So tell us a little bit about Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie's wonderful. We've become quite the little duo. Eddie is genderqueer and is the witch's apprentice, and so there are 4 witches who are competing in this year's contest to become the supreme witch, and Eddie is the apprentice to them, and is kind of running around, you know, doing the like typical apprentice thing, fetching coffee, this case spider legs, and making things happen, and you know, kind of being the hidden like PA, and they also kind of have this image in their head that they're supposed to want to be a supreme witch as well one day, and so with that like idea, they're kind of having a hard time figuring out how that fits into the picture for them, because they don't see themselves as this hyper feminine person, and all of the witches that they've seen all are drag queens, and in this world are what they are their feminine presentation, and so Eddie spends the show trying to understand how they can do what they want to do and be who they are with their truest self, and also do their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a middle of the road for drag? I mean, because there's that. I mean, we know we have drag queens, and not enough visibility for drag kings.
Totally.
But they definitely exist. And they're just as wonderful. But is there a middle of the road that sort of complements both sides?
I think so, because I think that, and something that I learned from the queens in our show that was like a incorrect preconceived notion that I had, and like were my own projections and like insecurity and gender on drag performance, was that I always thought that drag needed to be like, it had to be a male performing as a female or a female performing as a male. Mm-hmm. But drag is just you putting on a persona and performing it. And it's any sort of exaggerated version of like yourself or a character that you've created. And so I think that drag should not be limited by gender. And I think that it has been, just because we have been in such a binary state of mind for so long. And I think because also it does root from trans women of color and all of that. So I think that has definitely been where like most of the spotlight has been. But yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily like an in-between, but I think it's just that as gender itself, there's a spectrum to drag.
Mm-hmm. There's something, Eric, who plays the host in our show, his drag persona goes by they, them. Mm-hmm. And we were talking during our Fringe presentation, and he said something that was really interesting. He said, like, if you ask any drag queen what drag is and what that represents, you're going to get 1,000 different answers. Mm-hmm. Because it really is, it's limitless what you can be in drag when he said that. And it's really, I see that. I see that very much in our show and with other drag shows that I go to. There really isn't one specific identity for drag. And that's the beauty of this. That's the beauty, especially in our show, where you have this idea about who these witches are, because it's the Wicked Witch of the West, the Hansel and Gretel Witch, the Snow White Witch, and Ursula from Little Mermaid. Different names, but Disney wouldn't allow us to use them. Copyright.
No,
seven lawyers outside the theater.
Exactly, so be careful. But so you have that idea of who they are, but in our show, it changes a bit because we implemented this idea of drag. And each character, each actor has their own persona in drag. Mm-hmm. So that's what I love about what this show has become. That there's no one way of how to perform drag.
So you incorporate all this talent in your cast. How does that factor in with your piece? Because you've walked in with this piece already ready, but you've got all this talent to tap into. Did that promote or generate any new ideas or reimagining of what you originally walked in with when you did a call?
Yeah, Sav can speak for this too. Like when the first reading we did a reading in June 9th, and we had a week of rehearsals. I came in with the children's version of the show. Okay. And it was hilarious because there's a lot of double meaning that came out by how it was read. And that really informed me, okay, this is where we have to go with the show. I think the very important thing that I've learned in previous shows that I've done, but also as a writer and a producer with this, is I have to trust the cast. I have to trust what they're going to give me because they're the ones putting this on stage. They're the ones who are going to be telling the story. So if it's not organic, if it's not like their truth, it's just not going to work. A lot of times, there's been many readings I've done where the writers will be like, that's not going to work. No, you can't do that. Do this, do that. And it's just, then I lose interest and I lose the passion of why I love the character in the first place. So I think, this cast is phenomenal because they come in with such incredible ideas and great, let's use that. And we work together. I think it's been a really good collaborative environment. Our director, Steve Pasek, is amazing too. Mm-hmm. Brian Kerr, who's our stage manager, is phenomenal too. So we want to make sure that we tell everyone's truth. So they really have, from auditions, when Sav came into audition, I was like, what is this voice?
Like, I'm rewriting this.
What is going on? And same thing with every other actor that came in. It was, I had to cast these specific people. And that really has informed so much. I didn't really have to do too much work. Really.
I think your experience, as a performer, has really made that. Made you empathetic in that, and you wanting to be open-minded to the ideas of that performers and actors, because you know what it's like to want to offer those things and have that collaborative relationship. And also I think it keeps the true spirit of doing like a drag show because they're all up there just like talking off the top of their head.
Right.
And so like it like lets them like keep that going and like do that on stage too. And then also Robbie's like great, like after like when we first started working on the reading, he texted me one night and was like, "What's your highest note?"
Right. I remember that.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, I see what this is going to be." And so it was great because it was like we all get to feel good about what we're doing and like what we're showing off and what we're showcasing and like using taking advantage of the talent to like do the best storytelling that we can. Yeah.
I guess we talked a little bit about the process. What's it like in the rehearsal room?
Oh my god, it's really fun.
How long does it take you to get actually into
right?
rehearsal?
Let's say, okay. So
well, if we're not running on drag time.
Exactly. Drag time it's something very interesting. It's not theater time. No, I think it's our reading in June. We would, since it was like my first time kind of running things, and Steve basically was coming in. Running things as well, we were like, okay, well, this is good. We can make this happen. Like 5 minutes, great. 10 minutes, all right, it's good. We're having fun, so why not? I learned that now for when we did our Fringe, we were very much a little bit more on time because we had a lot to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're getting to full production, I'm stepping away and letting our director and our stage manager do that because there's other things that I'm going to have to do.
Yeah.
But everyone's on the same page. Cool. You know, it's nothing but fun. Like we come up with ideas in the spot, and if someone offers, "Hey, can I do this? Can I do that?" and if it works, yeah, totally do it. It's really fun. It's a blast to, be with these people, and really, it's fun. It's the best thing.
Yeah.
So during the Fringe performance and the performance at Delaware Theater Company, were there any changes from Fringe to Delaware Theater Company, or was it pretty much we're pretty solid right here, or are we still kind of tinkering?
I wonder, and I wonder how you felt like doing a reading, because at Fringe we staged it a bit. We were still with our books, but we kind of staged it a little bit.
Yeah. And
we used my house, so it's like we used the little levels because we went up the stairs and to the kitchen, and so it was interesting seeing it as a reading again. It was I wonder how you felt about that, but it was interesting to have the reading happen again. I was extremely nervous that day because I had to step in for Eric, who was like our host, Eric Jaffe. Oh my god! I tried as hard as I could to replicate what he does in the show. I did my best.
You did. It was great. It was great.
Oh my god! I was so.
It was like
because he told me that day, the day off, and I knew because he hurt his back, so I knew that there was a possibility of that happening, stepping in for the role.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was super fun, but
they ate it up.
It was good, and it was interesting. I mean, for me, that's the first time I performed that role, so for me, it was I'm glad I'm doing a reading. I don't want to perform. I don't know how you felt about going from stage to just read the play. And
it was good actually. I found myself because I think doing the staged reading, it's you're thinking about a million things at once because you're doing as much as you would physically if you didn't have your book, but you're literally holding a large thing in your arm and you're trying to hold out a squirt bottle and
right.
throw kale at people and stuff and you're trying to remember when you have to go up the stairs and stuff. So I was finding myself going back to the reading was a moment to be these are the words that I'm saying and be and hearing them ring out in the audience and also it was it weirdly felt more personal doing the show at DTC than it did in the house because it felt like I had to work harder in the house to put up the fourth wall to cut myself off so I wouldn't get distracted. Mm-hmm. Whereas there I was it was dark and stuff, but it's enough to still see the faces and the audience that we had. It was particularly interesting to see their reactions to the things we were saying. And so it was more of a moment to it gave me the peace and quiet to absorb that as that was happening, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was good too. I feel like that was good, and I spoke to Steve as well. It was good to hear it again without anything flashy. It was good to okay, this is our story. I know where. For me, I was okay, fix this, fix that, fix that. I mean, what I was doing as we were reading. I was like, that's not going to work. Okay, cut that later. But it was good to hear it again that way. So it was definitely a change, but we went back to basics for a bit.
Cool. What was some of the audience response? It seems like Fringe was, I don't know, maybe it was just in my mind that this was the year of the musical. Felt like there were a lot of musicals that were like, hey, I got an idea. And we got about, I don't know, 8 months, 49 minutes to put it together. And there were just a couple of really, interesting musicals that sort of stepped out, and they were just like, I got to see that, I got to see that. Oh, there's another one, and this is coming.
Right.
And even in the season now, we're opening up. There's a couple of musicals that are coming up, and plays with music that are coming up. What was some of the response from the audience?
I would say, the response of the audience was, at Delaware Theater Company, it was probably the most hands-on I've been with the audience so far, because there was like a little like reception afterward, and people like would come up to me, and there was these adorable little old ladies who came up to me, and they were like, oh, we loved it, like we're coming to Philly to see it, like we can't wait. And they were like, and wait, so they said to like dress up, like should we actually dress up, because like we will go full out, because Robbie had said at the end that people should come in costume to the shows.
So please come in costume.
And so this is your memo. And so these ladies were like so thrilled to dress up and like have an excuse to like dress up for Halloween, and they loved it, and they were just so like excited by it, and my favorite thing was watching these women try to figure out how to talk to the drag queens, and like they just were like, you were so beautiful, handsome, and the queens just so gracefully handle it, and and are like, yes, thank you, I was incredibly beautiful up there, you were correct. And there was just, but everyone was just like really excited, and I think that for a lot of them it was like they don't go to drag shows, they don't like go to Voyeur every week and watch Drag Wars and stuff. They don't have that, and so it was some good exposure for them, and it was cute. It was really great.
Yeah, that was fun. Like the Fringe was a blast.
Yeah.
Fringe was that was unexpected. I mean, I knew we were gonna like it, but that was unexpected. We all were like, "Oh, people are loving this. This is great." Mm-hmm. Okay, we had like what we call our matinee, which is our 6 p.m. A little on the quieter side,
a little quieter.
But our night shows were a blast.
Yeah, and people had the free beer, and they were loving it.
It was like,
and it was like almost like watching like a production or a shadowcast of Rocky Horror, and people like shouting out back at you and all that stuff. It was really great.
That was fun.
Yeah,
it's always interesting when you make the whole entire thing an event. It's not just coming in, sitting in the theater, waiting for the show to start. But it's like the before moment around it. It's like all the chatter, and if you get them a little bit of liquid courage at the beginning, they know that they're here to have fun.
Right,
so
exactly.
I just want to have fun, and I'm always just blown away when I get into a theater that's just everything's quiet. We're just trying to find our seats.
Right,
not
that's
quite sure what to do, and it's like, are we still doing it this way? The lobby should be alive with like everything.
Totally.
I know the artists have to prepare, so they can't be out there like engaging. Oh, I have to go, or like. But surely we could find something that just sort of gives them a little bit of something to just say, we're here to have fun tonight.
Totally.
I'm not gonna. We're not necessarily going to beat you over the head with like some really tough. This piece it's fun, So we're not going to beat you over the head with some really tough messages that you have to like sit with. And before you actually leave the theater, I want you to enjoy yourself and just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. Diane Paulus, one of my favorite directors, she said, when she directed Hair at ART, that we have to go back to some like Greek basics of like it's a day event. People went to the theater and it was a day event. There were festivals and a party and I think like if we can bring some of that to this is like I want it to be an event where people just like let loose and enjoy it. We definitely have liquid courage there, so definitely come and enjoy that. But I think that was really cool, that idea, and I'd love to keep that in whatever I end up producing. Like it's got to be fun. We have to people like have a chat. I mean, we're planning some Q&As as well after the show. trying to get 3 going. So somewhere where we can engage the company with the audience, that's a good goal.
Yeah. So I know the whole musical is your baby, but do you have any favorite songs? And I'll put that to you as well. Sav, do you have any favorite songs or favorite moments in the piece altogether?
Ooh. I would say I love this. One of my favorite songs is Monsters Are Men. There's a reason all monsters are men. Yeah, that song is such a bop. We love that song. And that's always like one of my moments to like be off stage for a second, and like that, like at the Fringe show in Robbie's house, that would be my pee break. I'd run upstairs and tiptoe to the bathroom so no one would hear me flush the toilet like in the middle of the song. And I love that one. That one's such a bop. I could definitely here's what we need: a Hamilton mixtape. We get these collab remixes. Get those out. Yeah, I love that one. But one to personally sing.
You can call it the Basic Witch Tape.
Ooh!
Oh my God, Darnell!
Write it down.
There it is.
Done.
Credit. Gotta give credit. My favorite one to sing, I would say, is probably the last one is Eddie's, which we always mix them up. Okay, what is it all for? That's
what
great.
What is it all for is what I'm going to call it.
It's the
now.
last song where I belt high and loud.
That's the one that I wrote for you.
Yes.
What's your highest note? Done.
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
I love that one too. That's a fun. You're going to love a new one.
Ooh.
It's a little bit at the end. A little tag at the end.
Oh, I love that.
That you're going to love.
Okay. So you're still adding songs?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still adding a couple things. It's just tying scenes. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's like tying scenes
No, that
that all make
makes
sense,
Yeah.
right? That
Stitching it together.
That's just what it's missing. Just making sure it's just all just clear enough that it all flows well.
Yeah.
But we have something at the end that I'm bringing in, like switching things around a little bit.
So
nothing too much, I promise. Nothing too crazy.
I'm not stressed.
Okay,
It'll be great.
So this will go up the Hamilton Family Art Center, and are you adding? Will there be more of a visual element to this than if you did come to see the Fringe?
Yeah, a lot of magic. We have an incredible team
because the space just oozes magic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the best. It's a great space. I went in with the design team and looked at the lights and everything. It's like, oh my God, 6 moving lights. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. Those are expensive. That's what I could rent those. So they're there. Great. Amanda Jensen is our lighting designer, and she's incredible. She did Snow White at the Art Inn, and she did Love, Lies, and Taxidermy at Interact. The way she isolated the space was phenomenal. So big fan of hers. And then we got Jill Keys doing our costumes, and she's incredible. She sent me pictures of Eric and Scott.
Oh, yeah.
That she did fittings for. It's awesome.
Oh, I can't.
And then we have my boyfriend Chris is doing the set because he had to.
So good at it, though.
He's so good at it. It looks going to look great. We have a runway, so
yeah, we've been
amazing.
Cool.
And then we have John Kolbinski as our sound designer.
Okay.
And he's phenomenal again, too. And, yeah. Okay. Have I named everybody? I need to make sure everybody's named. And yeah, it's really an incredible team. We have. I'm very excited for it. It's really going to be magical.
So I know that Basic Witches has been a big part of both of your lives for this past 9 months or so. But what other artistic pursuits drive you when you're not all in on Basic Witches?
Yeah.
What else do you do artistically?
I'm also a playwright and composer-ish, sort of thing. I do that. I had a musical that I wrote with my former roommate and really good friend, Sarah Flame. We wrote a musical together called Retrograde.
I saw that,
Yeah, and It was a really great time. She did the music and I wrote the book and lyrics, and the University of the Arts produced it in their Polyphone Festival this last spring, which was really, really like an incredible experience. And we got to have it professionally directed by Amy Smith from Headlong, who's an incredible brain and mastermind. And we had a full band, and we had like a huge cast, and it was a concert staging of it, and that was like a really exciting thing. We got to see it up, and we had been working on it and self-producing it for like 2.5 years at that point, and so it was really excited to get it up and see it and do the thing, because I had been in the Polyphone Festival working on new musicals for the first 3 years of it, and to finally have like my own piece produced in it in my last year in the festival was really awesome. So doing that, and I work at a toy store for my day job, which I consider an art, I would say. Merchandising.
Toy store?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! Yes, how appropriate. Yeah, I work at a toy store. It's called Momo's Treehouse.
I'll show you where the rest of them are.
Oh, incredible! I can't wait to see them. I love a toy. Yeah, you can catch me riding the scooters around the store most days.
I have to go visit you.
Yes, you do. We have 2 locations. Right. They're great. But I do that, and then auditioning, doing that grind, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Is this your whole life right now?
It really is. Like, I've put everything, even auditions in New York, I've put on hold.
Yeah. Where do you want to, not to rush this off the Hamilton Family Arts Center stage, but where do you see this piece going after this?
Yeah, it's funny because originally it was just going to be Fringe. And it was, okay, let's just make that happen. But because of the attention it's been getting, we moved it to putting it in the Philadelphia theater season. And now the goal would be to do either, for next year, do a mini tour of it, where I would love to take it to P-Town, Fire Island, Boston, New York. I'd love to do something like that. And maybe end again in Philly.
There's a whole circuit of fringe festivals.
There's a lot up there, right?
Into.
But so that would be great. But if not, like, it'd be great to release rights and have any neighborhood go ahead and take this and put their own version of it. I mean, that's another fun idea. That'd be cool. But yeah, I think very big. So it'd be great to have that tour happen.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think I have to focus on October. It is now October. So focus in the next couple of weeks that we're gonna put this up, and just make it fun. That's the number one goal here.
Cool. So this will be a final question, just for fun. If you could play any character on stage in the existing canon, which character and why? Or have you already played that character?
Oh man. Oh. I would say, okay, can I give like top 3?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna say like number 1, like all time, is like Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. I want to play the baker in Into the Woods. And I also would like to be Pippin.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good selection.
Thank you. I think about it often.
Fantastic selection.
What stands out the most about them?
Just the fact that it would be such a brain fuck for me, like a non-binary trans mask, assigned female at birth body, to like be up on stage, like taking over those like classic roles that are so like the epitome of like man and like the male leading roles and things, and carries so much of the like that masculine energy that is the leading man. I'm saying that with air quotes. I just think that it would be so cool and so awesome, and also like there's just like they have, I mean, unfortunately, like some of those characters have like some of the best music written for them in the like musical theater canon, and luckily now like much more music for other voices is being written, and that's really awesome. But I want to take it for myself.
Yeah. Put a little they into them.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
What about you, Robbie?
Pippin is also one of them for me. Pippin is an amazing role. I think I did that in high school. But
Oh my god!
I loved.
Is there video?
There is video.
Please.
That's when my accent was very thick.
Oh my god, that was so good.
And I love that one because there's a bit of like, there's a finding yourself in that role that I really love, and I think when I did it in high school, I knew I was gay since forever, but like I wasn't out then, so I think I remember like connecting to that somehow because of that. That I was
Totally.
like, I'm trying to find
yeah.
my corner, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find whatever that means, and the fact that like you go to these things that you're supposed to do, and then it's still not right. It's still just not the right thing.
Pippin's gay.
Yeah, and also like I exactly I made it gay, but also like I love the original ending. They have a new ending now that I don't like, but the original ending, and it's like it's an I don't know ending, and that's real. That's why I think I really loved about that role. I'll give 3 too. My other one is
when you think about it, you're like, okay,
like,
now wait
there's a lot of things that I
hold on.
Like, depends on how old I am.
The other one is Alexander Hamilton.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to do that. Been working on it a lot. So if anybody's out there,
Book him.
Goodness, I love that one.
He's ready.
That's great. But the one I really, really love is Molina in Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Oh, yeah.
I did that for the concert series for 11th Hour with Steve Pasek, who directed. And I've always loved that. I'm always on the lookout on Playbill.com and talking to my agent. Like, if there's a workshop anywhere, you let me know. I have got to get into that. But I think Alan Cummings is like in the world of playing that role.
Ooh.
But he's not Latino, so you give it to me. So that role is amazing. I love that role. I would love to do that.
Great. Well, the production is Basic Witches. It's a musical. It is. If you're listening to this now, that means you can buy tickets. You can go to basicwitchesmusical.com, and you should buy 2 because theater is more fun with a +1. And it's running all through October. And Robbie and Sav, thank you so much for coming to the studio today and chatting with me about this production that I've heard so much about, and I was swept up in all the madness of fringes for me this summer. And I'm looking forward to sitting in the audience and experiencing this for myself. And I might get dressed up a little bit. I don't know.
Yes.
We'll hold you to that.
Please.
I have to look for something fun to wear.
Right.
But yes, thank you so much for being on Rep Radio.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Rep Radio continues to be inspired by our community and listeners like you. You can support our work through our fiscal sponsor, Fractured Atlas, and through our Patreon page. Visit repradio.org/donate for more. Stay tuned. You know the rest.